but now it's time for some updates. I can see Mike Terrell join as well. Thank you for that. But let's do a little bit of demo time. And there we are. So one thing to start off with, an issue that has been fixed. Mr. Gabe Frost with Microsoft reached out the day before yesterday regarding an issue on the update catalog now for Patch Tuesday. They fixed that fairly quickly, and there was a reply just a little bit later to this post where they confirmed that the fix has been rolled out. And earlier today, I just did a test sync in one of my config manager servers, and sure enough, the catalog synced nicely. So glad to see that that one has been resolved. Good stuff. Then, of course, a friendly reminder for our friends over at MMS. It is not too late to submit a session. Deadline has been postponed to January 1st. In the earlier updates, it was December, but obviously we are way into December now. But if you have any idea of a session, if you're interested in speaking in one of the greatest conferences you can ever find, highly recommend to submit a session. It's a very friendly community, and I would love to see you there. So if you have an idea, please submit it. Then a friendly update. This was something that Mike Terrell actually made me aware of earlier today also. But if you upgrade your site server to 2409 in your lab, in your QA, in your test environments, in your pre-prod environments, no production yet, you will find that CM Pivot will not work reliably if you try to run it on either a Server 2016 or a Server 2019 server. Seems to work okay with when running it on a Windows 10 or Windows 11 client, the config manager console, but the config manager team is aware of this, and there is supposed to be a fix included in the slow ring update that usually isn't too far behind of the early ring. So just be aware of that, and yeah, there's that. Another feature that I stumbled across that made me smile was that in my tenant, in my Intune tenant, I finally got enrolled into the new device inventory. So if I go over to my devices here, I'm going to click Windows Devices just to make the left screen a little bit shorter. But in the configuration profile, now when you create a new policy, wait patiently for it to actually load the screen, you will see that one of the types that you can pick is now the properties catalog. And this is just a selection of things that you want to inventory. So I happened to create one real quick the other day, device inventory test 1. On which I promptly selected absolutely everything I could in the properties. So if I check the settings on this one, you can see that I have all of these selected. I believe it was 90 some policies in total. The only thing I really missed was to have free disk space in the logical drive. I'm so used to have that here from my config manager days. It just makes sense to have it in the same view. But yeah, of course, you can always go back to a device and look into regular hardware inventory, and then you will find free disk space there. But once you have this policy deployed, and I deployed it to my pilot machines and also a larger group of test machines, and if I go to one of those devices now, for example, my HP device, I'm going to search for HP, my trustworthy Firefly, I now have the Resource Explorer, and I can start to look into these different views here. I have, sort of, for example, logical drive, showing information about that disk. And here we are. And that's where I was missing the free space. And yes, I know. Thank you for reminding me, Twitter. In the hardware node, yes, you do have free disk space. I just thought it would be very nice to have it in a single view here, because I can thinking myself down the road to want to script against this, want to run reports against this, try to come out with creative solutions. But yeah, we'll see what happens down the road. But it's up and working. The reports are working now. They didn't initially, but now they are. So very, very happy to see this. And by now, this should be rolled out pretty much everywhere. And this is part of the Intune core features. There is no additional licensing related to this one. And if you want to learn a little bit more about what's going on under the scenes, I highly recommend to read Rudy's blog. It was published just a little while ago, and basically showing what was under the hoods. So I'll put this link, as always, under the description in the video here on YouTube, also up on our Academy. But this is a deep dive into what's exactly going on behind the scenes, the new sync engine for this, and yeah, this is cool stuff. Cool stuff. Then there was a shout out from Mr. Adam Gross on Twitter. And he's basically reaching out, asking for feedback. Okay, what is it that is preventing you from going cloud native, meaning Entra ID only, Intune managed only? What is it that keeps you hyperjoined? What are your blockers? And you can't see this on the screen here because I'm not logged into Twitter, but there are a ton of replies already. So please find Adam and please give your comments to this blog or to this post, not blog. And it's a really good thread so far to see what people are commenting on there. So highly recommend that. Then once again, Mr. Rudy here, this time on the Patch My PC blog, because, well, he works for Patch My PC now. So you see a lot of his posts showing up there as well. Not the same post, but a lot of posts. Really good post explaining a little bit how the Intune Management Extension is protecting itself for being uninstalled. It was actually just a fun read to see how it actually works and why things are a certain way. So good stuff, good read. I stumbled across. And then just because I happen to like lab hardware, I always have, I just stumbled across this from Trond, fellow MVP that likes a lot of labs, but this is a mini lab that he put together, combining 2Ps with a mini Mac. I just thought it was cool. Of course, it's not exactly free, but it's not $1 million either. So I thought it was cool and worth sharing. Then I stumbled across from Jonathan over at our friends at System Center Dudes. He published what I so far have seen is the best step-by-step guide for Autopatch. And it's recently updated too with the recent changes that has been in both Intune and Autopatch regarding updates. So if you haven't set up Autopatch or just want to have a run through of it, great article, highly recommended. And then I stumbled across from Martin Bengtsson over in Denmark. He put together a little guide on, well, how to control the switching to the new Outlook. I have not yet myself warmed up completely to it, but I'm trying. Okay, it's a journey, but this is how you can control it. Then I stumbled across a extremely shiny blog post, one that some of the Intune folks actually ended up retweeting. I saw that this week, but Peter figured out a way to do automation when you need to offboard a user real quick. So basically, single click, you have a user, they did not behave, you need to offboard them very, very quickly. Here is the automation work around it. Haven't had a chance to play around with it yet, but I will. It sounds very, very interesting to have an automation done for that. So I noticed it's been a request for many folks to have that available directly in the Intune tenant, but so far a community solution is the closest one we have. So I recommend to look into that one. And let's see, what else? Oh yeah, after a few requests, I was finally able to get my hands on a demo environment for Microsoft Security Copilot. And there is a plugin or skill for Intune to it. So once you have that set up and running in your Intune tenant, you can have that one integrated with Copilot there. And that allows you to ask questions about machines that you have in your environment. So for example, show me the list of active devices. And there were some other prompts I was playing around with also. If there is anything you really would like for me to test out in this environment, because it's not for everyone to simply go ahead and buy security for Copilot, not for a lab at least, it's fairly expensive. But this was a demo tenant that some folks from Microsoft were willing to share with me, so I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much. But I'll be happy to demo and test anything you would like me to test. So let me know, and I'll be happy to do so. That was all I had in the news section.